Hello there, you perfectly lovely little people. My name is Sarah and I'm reading from 101 Dalmatians by Dodie Smith. This evening's chapter is called Sudden Danger. For a few seconds, she stared into the dimly lit room. Then she shouted, "Sol, Jasper, turn off that television and turn on the light."
"We can't turn on a light because we have no electric bulbs left,"
said Sol Baden.
"When the telly finishes, we go to bed."
"And if we turn the telly off, there'll be no light at all," said Jasper Baden.
"Well, turn the sound off anyway," said Cruella angrily. Jasper did as he was told, and the little figures moving on the screen were suddenly voiceless. The cat pig yapped indignantly. Mrs., who was crouching low in the midst of her family, instantly hushed her. Pongo, also crouched low, got ready to spring at Cruella if she attacked any pup. But she seemed scarcely to notice any of them. Those near her shrank back as she strode into the room. "I have got a job for you, my lads," she said to the Badens. "The pups must be killed tonight. Every single one of them." The Badens gaped at her.
"But they're not big enough to be made into fur coats yet,"
said Sol. "The largest ones are, and the little ones can be made into gloves. Anyway, they've got to die before someone finds them. There's been so much in the papers about the dearly dogs. All of England is on a hunt for Dalmatians."
"But how could anyone find them here?" said Sol. "Why can't they just stay on growing bigger and bigger?"
"It is too risky," said Cruella. "Someone might hear them yapping and tell the police. My husband's going to ship the skins abroad, except the ones I keep for my own coat. I shall have it reversible. Persian lamb one side and Dalmatian dog the other. And wear the dogs inside until people forget about the Dearly's pups. When that happens, I'll collect another lot and we'll start our Dalmatian fur farm again. But this lot must be got rid of quickly."
"How?"
said the Badens both together. "Any way you like. Poison them, drown them, hit them on the head. Have you any chloroform in the larder?"
Not a drop," said Sol Baden. No ether either."
"We can't uphold luxuries," said growled Jasper Baden. "Drown them then."
"Dogs can swim. Anyway, the pond's less than a foot deep."
"Then you must hit them on the head," said Cruella.
"What, hit 97 pups on the head? We couldn't do it. Have pity, Mrs. DeVille. We'd be round."
"Listen," said Cruella DeVille. "I don't care how you kill the little beasts. Hang them, suffocate them, drop them off the roof. Good gracious, there are dozens of lovely ways. I only wish I had time to do the job myself."
"Couldn't you make time, Mrs. DeVille? You do it so beautifully. It'd be a pleasure to watch you."
Cruella shook her head. "I have got to get back to London." Then a fiendish look came into her eyes. "Here is an idea for you. Shut them up without food, and then they will kill each other."
"But they make such a horrible noise about it. We'd never be able to watch the telly."
"Besides, they damage each other's skins," said Cruella. "That would ruin their value. You must kill them carefully. You can start the skinning."
"But we can't skin them. We don't know how."
"My husband will show you," said Cruella. "We'll both drive down tomorrow night, and we shall count the bodies. Just remember that, will you? If you let even one pup escape, I'll turn you out of Hell Hall. Now, you had better get busy. Good night." Fortunately, few of the pups knew enough human to understand Cruella's words fully, but they all felt that she was evil. And as she made her way to the door, she aimed a kick at a small pup who was dangerously close to her. It was more frightened than hurt, but it gave a loud wail of anguish. Several of the bigger pups snarled indignantly at Cruella. Lucky, remembering the time he had nibbled her ear, barked out hastily, "Don't bite her, chaps! She tastes hot!" So Cruella got to the door unhurt. She flung it open, and the moonlight shone on the black and white hair and her absolutely simple white mink coat. Then she looked back at her room full of puppies.
"Goodbye, you horrid little beasts," she said. "I shall like you so much better when you're skins instead of pups. And I shall simply love the ones who are made into my own coat. How I am looking forward to it."
They saw her walk out, past the pond which reflected the black house, and on to the great iron gates, which she unlocked and locked again behind her. Then, through the silent winter night, came the sound of a powerful car driving away, followed by one strident blast from the loudest motor horn in England. How well Pongo and Mrs. remembered that terrifying sound. It took them back to the happy evening when they'd stood beside the striped black and white car on the outer circle. How safe and contented they'd been then, little guessing what dangers lay ahead. Jasper Baden hurriedly shut the front door, saying,
If we're going to lose all the pups, then we better keep them all in the one place."
Pongo felt stunned. If only he could think. If only the sheepdog were there to advise him. Mrs. whispered, "If you wish to attack those villains, I will help you, Pongo." Lucky said quickly,
"They always carry knives."
Pongo's brain was beginning to work. "If we attack them, they may kill us," he whispered to Mrs., "and then there will be no one to help the pups. Quiet, let me think." The Badens were talking together in low grunts.
"One thing is for certain, we can't do it tonight. We can't do it tonight, or we'll miss What's My Crime."
That was their favourite television programme. Two ladies, two gentlemen in faultless evening dress had to guess the crime committed by a lady or gentleman in equally faultless evening dress. Stern moralists said this programme was causing a crime wave and filling the prison because people committed crimes in the hope of being chosen as contestants. But crime is usually waving and the prisons are usually full, so probably What's My Crime had not made much difference. Both the Badens longed to appear as contestants, but they knew they would never be chosen unless they committed a really original crime, and they had never been able to think of one.
"We could kill the pups after What's My Crime. We ought to do it tonight while they're sleepy. They'll be much more dangerous when they're wide awake."
"It's a nuisance, that's what it is. And whatever way we do it, we shall be exhausted. First the killing, then the skinning."
"Maybe we'll get the knack of the skinning. Then we can skin while we watch the telly."
"Still 97 pups. Then wow, I'll bet no one else has ever murdered 97 Dalmatians. It might be the trick for us. It might get us on What's My Crime."
"Now you're talking. You and me in evening dress with carnations in our buttonholes and all of England watching us. But we must think up out some really striking way of doing our crime. Could we skin them alive?"
"Never keep quiet," said Jasper. "What about boiling them?"
Pongo whispered to Mrs. "We shall have to attack. It is our only hope." "I'll get the biggest pups to help you," said Lucky. "We'll all help.
"I can bite quite well."
And then something happened. The cad pig, whose eyes were fixed on the silent television screen, gave 3 short, sharp barks. No human ear would have known what those barks meant. What's my crime? But the Baden brothers, startled by the noise, looked towards the cad pig, and in doing so noticed the television screen. Saul Baden let out a roar of rage. Jasper Baden gave out a howl of misery. It was on. What's My Crime? But without any sound, of course. They were missing it, their favourite of all programmes. And just when for the first time they had hopes of appearing on it, they hurled themselves at the television set. Saul turned the sound on full blast. Jasper adjusted the picture. Then they flung themselves down on their mattress, grunting with delight.
"They won't stir for the next half an hour,"
whispered Lucky. At last, Pongo's brain sprang into full action. Instantly, he whispered to Lucky, March the pups out to the stable yard. Your mother and I will mount guard over the bad uns." Lucky whispered,
"If we could go out through the larder, we could eat tomorrow's breakfast on our way. That's the door by the fireplace. It's bolted, but I expect you can unbolt it, can't you, Father?"
Pongo had never even tried to unbolt a door, but he'd seen the sheepdog do it. "Yes, Lucky," he said firmly, "I can unbolt it." They tiptoed across the kitchen. Then Pongo stood on his hind legs and took the bolt in his teeth. It wouldn't budge. He rested his teeth and took a good look at the bolt in the light from the fire. He saw the knob was turned down and would have to be raised before the bolt would slide. "Now, we shan't be long," he said to Lucky, and again took the knob in his teeth. He raised it, tried to slide it, still wouldn't slide. He thought, "Lucky will lose confidence in me," and he dragged and dragged until he thought his teeth would break. Then he began to fear that if the bolt didn't shoot back, then it might make a huge noise. And then there was a burst of applause from the television. Someone had guessed the contestant. He had stolen 200 bath plugs from hotels. Pongo made a desperate effort. The bolt shot back. The larder door swung open.
"I knew you could do it, Father,"
said Lucky proudly. "It's just a matter of knowing how," said Pongo, running his tongue around his teeth to make sure that they were all still there. Now, that was a particularly nasty little story there, but I think you realise that some good is going to come with these little puppies. So I hope you've cleaned your teeth and washed your hands. Now I want you to go to your bed, snuggle in, give yourself a great big cuddle, and I will finish this chapter tomorrow night.